We're live at Sessions on the River. Happy Friday night. How y'all doing? I can't hear ya. We can't hear ya. Yeah. Great to be here. I'm Angela Siracusa. Thanks for asking me to host again. It's a thrill to be back with you. Chris Birkett, ladies and gentlemen, our feature attraction this evening. Always our feature attraction, but he's here in-house, so we get to really pick on you and find out everything that's happening. I know, and let's get a quick introduction of these lovely ladies, please.
Yeah, this is the fabulous Shari Talon on the keyboard and flute. Are you playing flute tonight, or as well? Great, and she also plays a wicked penny whistle too, which you're going to hear later. And this is Natalie Wong, equally beautiful and talented. And we play a lot of concerts in Toronto as a little trio, so it's a nice compact little unit. So,
well, we got to hear you just before we went live, and you're in for a real treat. But let's get a little dib on what's happening with you, because this is important. Last year to this year, big changes, and we understand the Age of Awakening is happening for you. This is the foundation and the musical. Please tell us a little bit about that, where you're at, when it's coming out, and your team.
Okay, well, actually, the Age of Awakening isn't happening for me; it's happening for everybody. So that's the thing that's happening on this part of this lonely part of the solar system that we happen to inhabit, is that we're moving into a new vortex of energy, and this is very this is in most of the ancient scriptures, but it's actually evident in the chaos that we're going through right now, vis-a-vis what's happening in the US, in the politics, etc. But we're in a chaotic period, which indicates that in fact that we're moving. It's kind of like the Phoenix process. We're beginning to burn the old thinking out of our culture. The old thinking is really a hangover from the Industrial Revolution, where we believed that we could just do whatever we want to nature. We could dominate nature, which is not at all true. We're a very, very minuscule part of this big, big breathing Mother Earth, and we're just literally like little ants, crawling around on the surface when you look at it on that scale. But we have the gift of consciousness. We have something about us which makes us different from the plant and animal species, and we've been selected by higher beings to evolve. And we were taken out of the circuit for a while in the universe because we had a few foundational problems. I won't go into that now, but if you want to know about this, you can talk to me after the show and I'll tell you about this. But we're now being reintroduced into the circuit within the next 50 or so years. And you can see the evidence of this evolution happening. Talk to a lot of young people. You talk to young people today, we call them the indigo kids or the crystal kids or whatever you want to call them. But you'll see that they're much more evolved than we were when we were their age. And this is a sign of the evolution of consciousness on this planet. So that's what my musical is about. It's about it's called The Age of Awakening because I believe that's an apt title for this event. And it's essentially giving humanity, we're going to get back our power. Our power to create, to heal, to love, and all this is coming back to us. It's going to evolve, whether we like it or not. We're actually going to be in that place in the very near future, and it's very exciting. And that's what my musical is about. Each song talks about this event in a different way, from a different aspect, and it's going to. So you asked me about the team, right?
Yes.
So anyway, I have a kind of dream team around me. Apart from we're going to organise a wonderful band, and these two wonderful ladies are going to be part of it. But we also have a musical director, Richard Evans, he's done a lot of successful shows, vis-a-vis Kinky Boots, which is a big success at the Mervish place. We've got Paul Dutton, who's the CEO of Snapped. He's organising our business. We have upward of $1.5 million to put the show on, which is in investor money. So it's going to happen, and we're starting to rehearse in October. We're going to do 5 concerts in the GTA, just to test out the music. So we're going to be playing 20 pieces of music which I've written for this show. We're going to play that to invited audiences in major cities in the GTA, and we're going to get audience participation because we only have room for 12 songs in the show, so we have to weed out 8 of them, right? So we're going to ask people to actually like participate and say, give us what do you like? What song do you like? What song do you don't like? Give us a scoring on each piece of music, and that will that will enable us to pick the best music from the show. And the script from the show is actually based on the lyrics in the songs. So the whole musical event is driven by the music, in fact, and the whole script will be written. So I'll tell you just briefly. I guess you want to hear some music, so I'll just finish talking with it. It came to me that every successful show, this show has been compared to it's a contemporary version of Hair. Does anybody remember that? Yes. Showing your age there. Okay, right. So that was a show that talked about the adorning of the age of Aquarius, which is what the age we're in now. In fact, we're going through that transition right now. So the script from this show is it's not like Hair. It's more of a contemporary version of Hair. So we won't compare it to that. It's just to give you an idea. But we're planning to run it. We're hoping to start touring in theatres. It's a soft seat theatre tour, so it's not like a rock show on stage kind of thing. Although there are rocky songs in it, we're planning to start this in the fall of 2018. So that's the plan. So probably enough talking. I should play you some songs from the show.
Well, yes, as you're playing, though, as we're live, though, as you know, people are always with their fingers figuring stuff out while they're listening to your music.
Yes.
So where can they Google you right now while you're playing live?
Well, they can go to my website, which is chrisbirkett.ca, but we also have the Age of Awakening musical.ca. But that site, you're not going to be very excited going to that site at the moment. It just has the logo and some basic information. We're still developing that. So we have a team of 50 web developers who are working on the site. So it's going to be really good when it's when
we
it's
can
ready.
Become members, though.
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
so please log on and say hello, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Birkett. Yes.
When I was working on the script and writing the music, I thought, every successful musical has a love theme, right? And I thought, how am I going to get a love theme into the idea of the evolving consciousness of humanity and where we're going? So I thought about it for a while, and then I was sitting on my balcony one morning, and the idea of reincarnation came to me, and I thought, well, why don't we have 2 lovers at the dawn of time? The dawn of time for contemporary history is Adam and Eve, right? But it goes way back before that. But Adam and Eve were sent to this planet to help humanity to evolve. So let's have 2 lovers from the dawn of time who are not able to get together because they have, for various reasons, they are either one is they're the same sex, or one is a mother and one is a daughter, or one's a cat and one's a dog, or whatever, you know. So as the show progresses through the epochs of history, these lovers meet in various times in history, and they try to get together, but they can't. I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to give it away because I want you to come and see the show. I'm not going to tell you whether they get together in the end, but the theme, the love theme that weaves all the way through the Age of Awakening is about that. It's about the reincarnation aspect of soulmates trying to meet each other in various lifetimes. I'm sure you've all felt that you felt people that I've known you before. You know, I've had that feeling, and so the theme song is called Awakening, and it's about this subject. It's kind of going to be sung at the end of the show, so it kind of, I'm going to give it away a little bit. You're going to find out what happens when you hear this song. So this is Awakening. Where have you been? I've searched for you through the ages. We've met so many times before, but love evaded.
I was looking for you too, from the dawn of time. Our two journeys brought us through. I knew you would be mine.
Awakening to our love. So here we are together. Awakening to our love. So here we are together. What have we learned? It's live, right? What have we learned from all of this? Eternal journeys, two star-crossed lovers on our knees. We begged for mercy.
Our love has stood the test of time and tribulation. I know I'm yours and you are mine, a universal celebration.
Awakening to our love. So here we are together. Awakening to our love. Sing with me if you like. So here we are together. Hey, blah 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 blah. Awakening. Exing, exing, exing. Awakening. Tugway, tugway. Awakening. Work, I work, I work. Awakening. Natalie. Awakening to our love, to our love, to our love. Here we are together. Awakening to our love. So here we are together. So, thank you. You're probably wondering what all that stuff was in the middle. You know, it's tugway, 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 awakening. Well, they're all words in different languages for awakening. Xing is a Chinese, Cantonese for awakening. Xing, 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 awakening. So that's you have to imagine that's on the theatre production. That's going to be a very tribal thing with big drum sounds and stuff. You know, so you have to use your imagination a bit, but you get the idea. Cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually reading some of the lyrics because I only wrote that song last week, so I'm still kind of. And Sherry's been very brave to do the female part. Thank you very much, Sherry. actually rehearsed last night, so it's all a bit new. So anyway, this next song is called "Above the Clouds," and it's a very positive message. That just briefly, it's whatever happens to us in our ordinary lives. It's a symbolic interpretation of whatever weather we're going through. I got the idea on an aeroplane. I was traveling to Hawaii to work with Buffy Sainte-Marie earlier this year. We just did an album called Medicine Songs, which is coming out on True North Records in the fall, which is, look out for it. It's their best album yet. So anyway, I was on the plane and I looked out the window and it's like beautiful sunshine. And then we descended. I think I had to stop at LA or somewhere, and it was all like there's a big storm happening. So we came through the clouds, and it's all like really awful weather, right? And I thought, well, that's really weird because, you know, it's the clouds that are really creating the weather, because above the clouds it's always beautiful. It's always a beautiful day. And I thought symbolically it's so much like human nature that we have these clouds of doubt and fear in us. And it prevents the sun from coming through, the light. We're actually potentially, each and every one of us are potentially full of light. We're beautiful, divine beings, all of us. But we have these clouds above, which block the light from us. So that's kind of what inspired the song "Above the Clouds." This is, we'll try it out, and this is another brand new one. So bear with us if we make a few mistakes here and there, but it's imperfection, which is the most beautiful thing on this planet, because it leads us to perfection. Walking on this side of the line, you can't fail to see all of the crimes that we have made in our history, all of the loving that we gave will come back to us. All of the dreams that we have made will come true, because the sun is always shining above the clouds. The sun is always shining above the clouds. Why do we live in rainy days, each and every one of us, under the clouds that we have made, riding that same old bus? Dark as a day that sees the night deep inside our souls, and never believing that we're right, giving up control, because the sun is always shining above the clouds. The sun is always shining above the clouds. Isn't it lovely to be the weatherman, talking to you and to me on the stand? Oh, the words wrong. Talking to you and to me about rain or shine, but standing here under my tree, all is fine. know what we're gonna sing? 'Cause the sun is always shining above the clouds. You know the sun is always shining above the clouds. You know the sun is
always shining
above the clouds. You know the sun is always shining, hey, above the clouds.
Let's give it up for Natalie. What a solo. Wow. Oh my. That is just gorgeous. I could just picture the entire Softy theater singing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you chose well. The songs are so memorable. The lyrics are simple to understand. Was that on purpose?
Yeah, I guess that if you make your lyrics too ambiguous, then you don't really get your message across, right? So I'm trying to keep it, fairly down to earth and simple,
It's a musical. It has.
Yeah, well, it's all
to be,
about
right?
being positive. The whole point of this musical is I want people to walk out of the theatre and I want them to feel really good about themselves. I want people, if just one person walks out of that theatre and says, I see the light now, I see that I'm connected to the divine, I'm part of the creative process of the universe. If one person feels that, then we've achieved something. But if everybody feels it, it'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Well, I feel it. I think that your lyrics are so not obtuse. It's so direct, and it's refreshing. Just to say, I love it.
Thank you. Well, it's the first time we've tried these songs out in public, so this is a kind of debut situation, and you're a really sympathetic audience. So I really appreciate your warmth and your beauty and your giving and lovingness. It's wonderful. Thank you. So here's a song about Mother Nature. This is going to go in the show. This is called "Without Love, Where Would We Be Right Now?" And it's a song to Mother, the female spirit, the feminine aspect of the creation of the universe, which is sadly been overlooked in our culture. I firmly believe my own feeling about this is females have been suppressed for a very long time, for whatever reason, political, financial, or whatever, ego, all that stuff. I don't think you can call yourself a civilized culture or a civilized planet until you have total equality in gender. And I consider a planet or a culture or a country that doesn't have equality in gender to be barbarian. So we have to move past the barbarian stage. There's a lot of barbarian behavior on this planet right now, and we need to get past that, because we cannot evolve until we have equal gender. Equality in the sexes, okay? So that's my feeling, and it's backed up by a lot of research that I've done. It's absolutely true. So this is a song dedicated to the female spirit. I bet you're wondering where that's coming from, don't you? This is my little magic box, and I put some grooves in there so we can do some stage stuff without having a big percussion section. So it's called "Without Love." Hey. You gave me the sun, the air, the sea. You gave me the wind and stars and trees. You gave everything to please me, and you made it all so easy. The sunlight that plays upon the lake, the moon and the silver light it makes, they light the way for us lovers. has to discover love. Without love, where would we be right now? Without love. Ooh, you're making me cry. I love everything about you. I never could live without you. You turn my heart round towards the sun, open my flower to her love. Without love, where would we be right now? Without love, ooh, ooh, I would die, my baby. Without love. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you like that one. It's kind of romantic. I always get emotional when I sing that song. I don't know why, but I'm sorry. And I looked over that beautiful lady over there, and she was singing it, and we got taken away with it. Anyway, so less of that emotional stuff. Let's get on to some rock and roll. So this is a song called "Turning Around the Sun," which is going to be featured in the Age of Awakening. All the stuff we're playing tonight is all from the show. "Turning Around the Sun" is based on a Sufi poem. Does anybody know about Rumi? Rumi, the Sufi poet? Okay, cool. Okay. He's one of my favorite poets. He's very romantic and very beautiful. Anyway, he's one of the. I stole one of his lines. This goes a bit like this. There comes a time when the risk of staying closed as a bud becomes greater than the risk of opening to a flower. For me, it's such a beautiful line because it's about freedom. It's about opening. Just become a flower. You know, don't stay closed up. It's a bud. You know, open up and embrace the sun and the life and those around you. You know, love everybody around you, and this is the message. This is something which is a part of the message of the musical. So this is anyway. This is called "Turning Around the Sun." So enough talking. So. There comes a time when the risk of staying closed as a bud becomes greater than the risk of opening to a flower. We are growing into love. The beauty falling from above. Power growing from inside. Graces falling from the sky. A night turns to day. A work turns to play. Come what may. Hey, the world keeps turning around the sun. No more doubt, no more fear. It's time for peace of mind. Anxiety for the future, leave it all behind. Laughter flowing once again. Tears of joy instead of pain. Music flowing in our veins. Lovers singing in the rain. Hey, a night turns to day. A walk turns to play. Come what may. Hey, the world keeps turning around the sun. Turning around the sun. The world keeps turning around the sun.
I don't think I have any mic on happening. I'm not sure.
Woo, that takes a lot of energy. Anyway, you have to imagine that it's a kind of a Celtic song. It's going to have a boron, you know the boron? A beautiful Irish instrument. Yeah, it's got to be driven by that. So we don't have that with us here tonight, but come and see the show and all that stuff will be on it. So this is a song called, getting too old for this. Okay, I've got to get back into running again. This is a song called Fly, and this is about the freedom. Fly is based on the Cathar religion. It was a teaching that, from in the Middle Ages that got stamped out by various politically corrupt individuals. I won't go into details now, but it was a beautiful teaching. It had this practice actually had equality in the sexes. They had female priests and everything in the Cathar teaching. Cathar, Cathar. Look it up when you get home. So they had the symbol of the Cathars was the white dove. So I wrote this song because I lived in the south of France for many years, and I used to go to some of the Cathar monuments and some of the old cities, and I was very inspired by that particular thing. So I wrote this song. It's called Fly.
Can you hear me through the mic? Oh, I'm back. Excellent, thank you.
Can you hear everything, by the way? Can you hear guitar, voice, violin, piano? It's all good. Great. Okay, let's give it up for Chris Curry, who puts the sound together in this place. Yes. Here we go. Ha, ha, ha. beneath the heavens. Turn on the light for the one you love. The age of darkness is over now. And those old ideas are gonna drag you down. And maybe we can learn to fly. And maybe we can fly together. And maybe I believe in light. Light is every color falling from the sky. Shine on one another. Turn on the light for the one you love. The age of darkness is over now. And those old ideas are gonna drag you down. And maybe we can learn to fly. And maybe we can fly together. And maybe we can learn to fly. Natalie. Hey, and maybe we can learn to fly. And maybe we can fly together. And maybe we can learn to fly. Oh yeah. Hey. We can learn to fly. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, I do sometimes. Actually, I forgot to put it in my hand today, but yeah, but thank you. Well, this guitar is very sensitive, so you don't have to hit it very hard. If you hit it hard, it kind of gets a bit kind of overloaded. You know? But thanks, guys. Fortunately, I have a nail on my finger today, so it helps. So this is a song about trying to. It's going to go in the show. It's called Just a Boy, and I actually wrote it when I was living in Paris, and it's about everybody trying to find them. You know, this thing of like, who am I, which appears in your life sometimes. You just wonder who you are and why you're here. And it's going to go on fairly early in the show because it's a kind of awakening song. It's about waking up to who you are. Do you want to say anything about that?
No, that's everybody was just going, yeah, we all know that.
Well, it could also be I'm just a girl, right, too.
I know, boy.
Yeah, so I want to do this song for you, and I'm going to put it in the show because it's I think it's a subject which a lot of people can really resonate with. That feeling of who am I? Have you ever, as a kid, I used to ask questions which are really awkward, especially to my religious instructor, and she just hated me because I'd just say, well, that doesn't make sense to me. Why, you know? And it would be. I think we tend to shut down the dreams of a lot of children, and we need a revision in our education system. And that is also part of the Age of Awakening. I think that if we want to, the human race is waking up, and I think we're going to actually start educating our children properly too, which is a great wish I have, and I think it will happen. There are places in the world that are doing that right now. So I was fortunate to go to India and work at the Oneness University, and that started as an educational institute for new principles for children. So anyway, it's enough talking. This is Just a Boy. If I live to be 1,000 years, would I still be 1,000 fools? I came down here to be with you. This lost and lonely heart inside this fool. I'm just a boy inside a man. Don't really know just who I am. I'm just a child inside a dream, asking myself, what does it all mean? This ship could sail a million miles and still be lost in stormy clouds and kill the soul that tries to fly. I'm lost inside this endless sky. I'm just a boy inside a man. Don't really know a child inside a dream, asking myself, what does it all mean? Hey! Just take my hand and lead me there. Be patient, be kind. I need your care. You showed me life. You showed me love, and you called it all down from above. I'm just a boy inside a man. Don't really know just who I am. I'm just a child inside a dream, asking myself, what does it all mean? Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I remember that song, and I wanted to ask, how long did it take to gather? Is it 30 in total? How many songs did you have?
We've got, I got 20. I got more music than I need for the show, but
Right.
we're just gonna like weed out the songs that don't work.
Right.
So try see if you can come to one of our shows where we're going to play in 5 major cities in GTA, in theatres. You know, we're going to do it like a. It's not going to be the actual Age of Awakening musical. It's just a test run to get the audience participation on the music. So then we're going to decide, but from the audience votes, which songs we're going to use on the show.
I think that's brilliant. That's great.
Yeah.
What a great idea. So you have 5 pilot shows, sort of.
Yeah, we've got 5
figured
pilot
out.
shows just for the music, and then it's kind of 20 songs, and then we're just going to we need to get it down to 12 songs. So we need to elbow 8 of the songs.
That's hard because they're all so good and they all must mean something to you, right?
Yeah, they all relate to the subject, which but some people like some songs more than others. So it's, we want the show to be international. Eventually, we want to have it on Broadway. We want to have it in the West End in London. I want it to run for many years because it has a very strong message, and I think that's it's the message in the songs, but it's also in the script too. But I won't go into the script now because it's a long. But there's some very interesting scenes coming about.
Would you be interested in some questions from our studio
Oh yeah,
audience
totally,
today?
yeah.
All right, I'm going to call our first
a Q&A,
person up.
yes.
All right. All right. If we can have
God promise you're going to
Dean
answer.
Young, please come up. Is he here? Oh, he must. All right, so we'll get Melissa Young or Emo or Cynthia. Come on up. Cynthia, all right.
Yeah. Give it up for Cynthia.
Thank you very much. You guys are great. I love how respectful you are of each other as musicians.
Thank you.
That's lovely. The question I have for you, one of about 50, but here we go. Is there a moment when you personally had your own awakening? And was it like the Big Bang, or was it a gradual growth? Did this move from choice to compulsion?
I don't know whether I should say this on air, but it was I was 19 and I had a LSD overdose. Oops, da-da-da, censored. I had a beep overdose and beep and a beep and a beep. No, I was just a kid, you know. Like, we're experimenting with things, and anyway, I kind of had. I was with some people I didn't really like very much, and they kind of like they talked me into taking more than I should, right? So I got like over, you know, kind of the sort of thing that's happening with fentanyl these days. You know, it's really terrible what's happening with fentanyl, but it's not as LSD is not as deadly as fentanyl. So, but anyway, so what the effect it had on me is I actually cracked my personality, all the things that I thought that I was, because we grow up with this idea of who we are, and it's acquired from our parents and from our culture and from everybody around us, and we think, well, I'm this person, you know, this is me. And it's kind of a facade, and we don't really realize most of our lives that it is a facade until something really serious happens, either death or sometimes the death of a loved one, or something happens that can actually break that. In my case, it was this kind of chemically induced sort of shock, but I saw that I was not. I realized I didn't actually know who I was, and so that set me on a path of truth. I thought, well, who am I, and why are we here? And they just opened up all kinds of questions. So I went into a school in London called the Gurdjieff Institute, and I worked with that institute for 15 years, and it answered many of my questions. Not all of my questions, but it helped me to understand why we're here and the deep aspects of human psychology. So I don't know whether that answers your question.
It still is a choice then. Now it's a compulsion. Now you're speaking of it with such a passion, and you see that it will be, and you're driving forward to it. So what happened? Because this has been an idea with you now for many years.
Yeah, various stages. I went through various stages of awakening, and it was the thing of kind of one of the other things that really changed the way I look at things is I was invited to India to work at a university called Oneness University, and I discovered some really deep insights about myself at that place. I'll just give you a quick example. So it's an example of how there's something really simple can hit you like a diamond bullet and just like wake you up. You know, we're working on the 7 stages of from suffering to absolute calm and bliss. And in this particular teaching, it's a Hindu-based teaching actually. And so we would on the 3rd day, we reach the stage of joy, when you start to realize that suffering is actually all in your perception. Suffering is not in the event itself, it's in the way we perceive the event. You know, like this famous saying, we can complain that the rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice that the thorn bushes have roses. It's the same event, different perception, okay? So we would, the teacher came in the morning, the young Indian females and males who are teaching us. They're really enlightened little young beings. And they said, tonight we are going to celebrate rapture, which is the 4th stage after joy, and we were having a discotheque. Excuse my Indian accent. That's kind of what it sounded like. And I thought, discotheque, you know, we've been listening to sacred Hindu music for the whole, you know, get up at 5 in the morning, have meditation and then spicy Indian breakfast and all that stuff, right? So it was really intense work. So I thought, well, discotheque, this is not really... So I went to the discotheque in the evening, and I was in the VIP campus because they invited me because I was well known in the music business. So I was sharing the campus with the Japanese bankers and the politicians and stuff. So they started playing this awful disco music like the Bee Gees and ABBA and stuff, which I personally don't like very much, but for me it's corporate pop, and I'm not into corporate pop, okay? So I was standing in the corner of the room feeling really sorry for myself. I thought, this is awful. Why did I come all the way to India? And I went back to my room. I was laying on my bed looking at the ceiling. I was really depressed. So I woke up in the morning and got up for the meditation and the breakfast and started the next day's lessons. And the young girl came in and she said, before we're moving on to the next stage of the 7 stages from suffering to absolute calm, I want to talk one more time about suffering. One of the chief reasons we suffer is because we wish our environment, we want our environment to be the way we want it to be. It's an egocentric problem, right? We want and it just hit me like a brick. It's like, of course, I wanted the music wasn't what I wanted it to be, so I was just really pissed off and just went off in a big sulk and moody. But it's a simple example, but it really, that event totally cracked me open, because I just realized that my whole life I'd suffered because I didn't want things to be different. When instead of just accepting reality as it is, I wanted to change everything, you know. So it had a big impression on me, and then I went for a walk in the hills after, and I sat near a little lake at lunchtime, and my third eye was like singing to me. It was the most powerful experience. It was incredible. So it just I had a big breakthrough at that point. So that's one of the many things that's happened to me, and has helped me to understand the human condition and my own condition and my own place in it. So.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
It's a long answer to a short question.
Emo, come on up.
I know what you're going to ask me. Where's my beer?
No. All right. This one is you had many awakening moments, but this is about because I have now that I have love in my life in the form of my girlfriend. When you, it must have been an awakening, like a whoa awakening when you first started to meet and with the inspiration and love of your life. Like it must have been like a whoa, this is an awakening like no other.
Yeah, is your girlfriend here? No, she's not here. Okay. Well, let's say hi to her if she's listening. And thank you for being. Thank you for what's your name again?
Emo.
Yeah, thank you for loving Emo. So I think we're talking about love, right? So I think that my understanding is that you can't really learn to love other people until you learn to appreciate yourself. Until you learn to love yourself. It's not. I don't mean love. Great. Looking in the mirror and oh, I'm so handsome. It's not that kind of love. That's ego. But when you start to feel the gift of gratitude for being alive, it's just amazing what's going on in us. We're a whole universe right in our bodies. When you start to feel that, there's a space for you to love someone else, and I think you've got that now. You've got that. If you found love in your life, it's because you started to love yourself, and that's really cool. So I want to give you a clap for that. Yeah.
Thanks, Emo. Thanks so much. Yes, please. Linda.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm the girl in the back that made you cry.
Yes, thank you.
So I have 2 questions. At the very beginning, you referenced, we could be like ants. And there's a body of research, I don't know if that's where you pulled that from, that really talks about each one of us on this earth. If you watch ants, they colonize and they work together and they go off on a certain path, and those that can't go die off.
Yeah.
And so there is a big movement in this awakening. And what are your thoughts around how this demonstration of truth and love connects us to ourselves and to each other? What do you see being different from a social standpoint when we can do this, when we can pull this off and really awaken each of us? What do you see shaping?
I want to go back to the teachings of Christ on this question, because I'm not going to call myself a Christian or anything, because religion, as it's been handed down to us, has been very corrupted by political, motivation, and financial. But there is in every teaching, there are jewels that have survived in there. So one of the things that Christ tried, the messenger, which I call Christ, came to this is to try and there's two aspects to it. One is that to appreciate that you're a divine being, you have a connection with the Creator, and in order to reach that Creator, that connection, that beautiful, if you like, vertical connection, you have to find in yourself the ability to love those around you, and that cuts into the social aspect, because I don't think you can have a true social climate until people really begin to respect themselves. And it's all in that message. I kind of visualize it as a cross, not the sort of like nail him up kind of the negative image that we're given, like the cross is just kind of hard, suffering and everything. But I see the cross as a vertical connection with whatever you want to call God. I call God the Creator, but it's a vertical connection. And with the horizontal aspect is your ability to help humanity around you. And I think that's a complete energy right there, if you can achieve that. I don't know whether that answers your question, but
No, it does.
yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
The second question has to do with synchronicity. So I come down here to visit a friend. I recently co-founded a foundation that is raising collective consciousness.
Yeah,
through,
right.
Awakening people to connect better to themselves, to each other, and to Mother Earth through the arts. And yeah, so that's why I moved. Our program has Power of the Arts. It's music, meditation, movement, and mandalas. And I'm sitting in the back going, I'm going to India. My partner just got back. We're going there. How does this happen? We know how it happens. It's we get out of our way and we follow our truth, and the universe provides.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on synchronicity and how it's helped you get where you are today?
I think it's a question of resonance. You know what resonance is?
Yes.
It's like
That which you resonate.
yeah. It's like if you get a guitar string here, right, and you have the same note next to it. You tune one note to the same note as the next string. You just pluck one string, and the other one will start resonating in harmony. It'll resonate with it because it's in tune. So I think the point of all this evolution of humanity is to raise your resonant frequency so that you can actually start communicating with the higher aspects of the universe. And I think it's as simple as that. It's almost scientific in its simplicity, but
Right.
I believe there are no miracles. Miracles are just things that haven't been understood and explained by us yet.
We raise our resonance through our heart, through loving,
yes,
and through non-perception of suffering.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's I see it. I don't know about you, but you obviously do. But I see it all around me, and I see it in children. I really think there's a lot of hope, because I think we're actually like evolving rapidly, much more rapidly than we have done in the past. And the people like you doing these like workshops and these meditation and all that. It's so. This all happened in the 1950s. It happened because of a really what we perceive as a really negative event, but there is no negative events. It's all experience, right? China invaded Tibet. The Dalai Lama had to go into exile in Dharamsala. That was perceived as a really negative thing. Buddhism was under threat. But what actually, the positive aspect, every stick has two ends. The positive aspect of that invasion was that yoga and meditation, all those other wonderful things that we now have, bridged over into the West after that time. And it was really good. And that was part of our evolution too. That's going to be in the show, that event. There's because it's a very important crossroads in our human history, that we started to receive that information, which we were just industrialists, and before that we were just interested in making money and just making machines and getting better and better at doing things. But we're forgetting our spirit, our souls were being languishing in loss, So that's given us that was a really good moment when that bridged over to our culture.
Well, thank you very much for bringing that feminine energy and that truth you know, and the message to the world.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think, Angela? I'll give it back.
Yeah.
I love finding
Thanks.
out about the audience, and this is wonderful. I think that your music is actually drawing people to you. We're vibrating already. We have another question.
Hi, my name is Camille.
Hi, Camille. How are you?
I am very, very intrigued by the kind of music that you create. I'm also I'm inspired by your thoughts and how you think towards the world and how it should be. See, just a little bit about what you just said about Christianity. I'm from Israel. I was born in Nazareth, I'm gonna say like with a statement, and I'm gonna end it with a question.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just so intrigued by how you think how life should be, through your music. See, I'm a musician too. I play the violin and guitar, and the way you put this music together is just so beautiful. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's a little new to me, but I like it. I really, really like it. I was invited to come here. I'm glad I came.
Well, actually, I have a good team around me.
Right? No, and it's so beautiful. So as an artist, how do you see at this point in time in your life, after all the ups and downs that you've had, and to keep you going and your beliefs and all that, how do you feel now? I mean, what keeps your drive? Because you've been through up and down through your life, and there's something that keeps you going. What is it?
Well, actually, what happened? I had a very I don't know whether you know that, but I had a really bad upbringing. My mother left when I was 4 years old, and I was brought up by a really horrible, spiteful person who fed me and my sister on sugar and pig fat sandwiches for most of my life. So, my early life. So I ran away from home as soon as I could. So, but I realised over the years that there's nothing actually that can happen to you that you can perceive as it as bad, but it isn't actually bad. It's experience. I went to Neil Donald Walsh. I met him once in Paris. He wrote Conversations with God, series of books, right? And he said an interesting thing at the seminars. There's like 2,000 people there, and he said, "How many people have gone through a really bad traumatic experience in their life? You know, like a death of a loved one, breakup of a marriage, all that sort of stuff, you know, accident where they became handicapped or whatever." And that almost all the people put their hands up. And then he said, how many people, second question, how many people realized that in retrospect that traumatic experience was actually good? They learned from it, and they helped them to evolve in their understanding. And nearly everybody put their hands up. So I see my unfortunate childhood as a real useful tool in that I can understand other people that are in that. You know, I think if a person's born with no legs, then you go through life and you can just say, "Oh, I've got no legs," but you can understand other people that don't have legs. And when it comes on to the level of spirit, which is what we actually are essentially, we're vibrating, animated energy. It doesn't really matter because we're all pure. We're all part of a big system, and we all belong to a beautiful system. Which it doesn't. Whatever happens on the surface is, you know, the expression of that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Which is, you know, there's a kind of truth in that.
It's just so great to see, because you hear many artists in the past, they're doing well in life, but then they go through so much tough times. In the end, unfortunately, they commit suicide or what have you. They can't carry on with life. Where it seems to me that you've always pulled yourself together and keep going.
Yeah, there's a tendency. Yeah,
it's your music.
Yeah, I'm very, very incredibly grateful that I can be that I can actually compose music, which really. I was in Hawaii the early part of this year, working for Buffy St. Marie. We're doing an album, and I had the evenings free in my hotel for like literally 5 months. And so instead of sitting there watching TV, I had my portable studio. So I wrote most of the songs for the new songs for the musical in that stage, and I just so grateful I can actually do that. It's wonderful. But I believe that actually everybody is really, really good at something. And when you find out what that is, it's literally your soul contract. Find out what that is. Find out why you're here, and follow that with all your passion.
Music keeps me going.
Yeah, the universe will provide. You don't need to worry about all the other stuff. You know, you're all worried about, stressed about money all the time. But if you follow your passion, you'll find everything will fall into place.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Thank you very much.
yeah, okay.
Thank you.
We've got a couple more questions, actually. Dean Young, he had to step out, but he was here earlier this evening.
Yeah.
They live close by. He says, it was such a pleasure meeting you, Chris, and we were enjoying our evening, had to run home. But for the record, our question is, who were your musical influences growing up? And Melissa's question is, we know you enjoy traveling, and what are some of your favorite places that you have traveled to, and why?
Oh, okay.
Two
Well,
of them, they were both a couple.
well, musical influences. I'll answer that quickly.
Yes.
I was doing an electronics degree when I left school because that's what my father wanted me to do. Right? I was good at it, but I didn't. My heart wasn't really in it. But I was doing it, and Deep Purple came to my college once to play a concert, and so I went to see them, and I was standing right in front of Richie Blackmore, and I was watching him, and I thought I'd experienced God, you know, when he was playing his solos. He's a great, really good guitar player, and I was just like, I knew at that point that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, at that point I thought, right, that's it. I'm not going to be an aircraft electronics engineer. I want to be a musician. I don't care what happens. And I actually ran away from home, slept on the streets in London for a year or so, and with no home, nowhere to go, and just went to every audition I could go to, and gradually worked my way up through the music business. I got to play with Led Zeppelin for 3 months, which is really cool. That was they were on an island called Guernsey, a tax exile, and I was in a pop band called Love Affair, and we had a couple of hit records, so we had to go and hide from the tax man for three months, and Led Zeppelin were the same place, and we were playing in this club for 3 months, and they were sitting there bored, and Jimmy Page came up and said, "Do you mind if we come and jam with you guys?" I said, "Yeah, hell yeah." They were kind of my heavy musical influences. And then I got into world music. I worked with Peter Gabriel, met him a few times when I was working with Sinead O'Connor, and so I met Peter through her. And I got into world music. He introduced me to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan and the Bulgarian choir singers, and it's just it's all been a influential journey.
That's wonderful. So your travel is basically
So it's a traveling
music.
question. I travelled all over the place really. I worked in. I did a lot of work in South Africa, and I was very touched by the talent in some of the African countries. I went to Zimbabwe, recorded an AIDS orphan choir, and went to India. I've got a portable studio that I travel around the world with and do field recordings. And one of my favourite types of music, which I've produced recently, is Berber music from North Africa. The Berbers are the original inhabitants of the North African regions of Algeria and Libya and all those, Morocco. It's all Berber. But after the Ottoman invasion, it became Arab. But the Berbers are much more ancient than the Arabs, and their music is beautiful, and their language is so frenetic. So I guess that my traveling has been inspired by my desire and my love for music. That's what's made the traveling possible.
Thank you so much, and thanks to Dean and Melissa for asking those questions. And
Thanks,
shout out
Dean.
from George Burns saying, "Hi, looks cool, sounds good," and Linda saying she likes this live. Yeah, so she's writing that. I love him, tune in, and Gary Krebs says, awesome. And do you have a few more songs for us to play?
Well, do we have time? How's
Yes,
everybody
I believe
feeling?
we do.
Okay.
And let's give a nice shout out again to Shari and Natalie.
And Natalie, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Birkett and the Age of Awakening.
Okay, so we're going to do a song called Where Do We Go From Here, which is two more songs. I don't want to keep you all night. This song was featured on, it came out on my album in 1993, Men From the Sky, and it was put on a compilation with U2 and Dire Straits and Lenny Kravitz and Peter Gabriel. So it got quite a bit of coverage and I gave the royalties to Care International. So I didn't actually make any money out of the song, but the money went to Sudan, went to a good cause. It's called Where Do We Go From Here? They live so far away, so far away from here. The future's in their hands. The cause is very clear. Where dreams of freedom still continue, these men will surely have their way. The fight goes on. Civilization take their turn. Every nation, we ought to learn, we ought to know right now, this fire will burn through the years. Where do we go from here? You've always had your way, a place in history. You can't put men in chains and live life peacefully. The dream of liberty will catch you. Beware the eagle flies again. The fight goes on. And civilizations take their turn. Every nation, we ought to learn, we ought to know right now, this fire will burn through the years. Where do we go from here? Take it away, Natalie.
song of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
Yeah, why don't you get up and jump around for this one? It's a dancer. Got to use a pick on this. We've been waiting so long just to give you this song. Hope it won't take too long before we wake up and know the truth. This world was made for all. From the past we have come to the future to learn from the times we were wrong. We must know now where we belong. This world was made for everyone. Corporations take the soul of our nations. Politicians do just what they're told. And nobody is listening to our frustrations. We have been sold. Hey! How can we own the land? How can we own the sky and the wind and the rain? There are things that we just can't buy. This world was made for all. All the signs are out there, but we still breathe the air. There's a chance if we care, we don't have to go down this road. This world was made for everyone. Now there's only mergers and acquisitions. Consumerism gets out of control, leaving all this dead to future generations. We have been sold. Hey, it's time to wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up, wake up, wake up and know the truth. This world was made for all. Natalie. Wake up and know the truth. This world was made for all. Wake up and know the truth. This world was made for everyone. Wake up and know the truth. This world was made for all. Yeah. You know it. Natalie Wong, Sherry Talon.
Chris Birkett, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight live at Sessions. Thanks, Chris Curry. Join us again every week. There's here live music. Have a great night, everyone. God bless. Yes.
Thanks for listening to the Ready We're Rolling showcase at Sessions on the River. Join us for another evening of great music. A special thanks to Jim Winnie from J&B Music Full On Production. This has been an Earth, Sky, Water production. Tonight's show was produced by Chris Curry. You could be anywhere in the world, yet you chose to be here with us. Good night.